Okay, so I'm inside Paper Kingdom right now. You can start by clicking on Create New Project here or the New Project button here. Both of these do the same thing. The other button is Import Project. This comes into play when you already have an existing project that you want to use as a starting point. Let's say you've worked on a project and there are a few things that you want to take from that project. Or maybe you're working on an upsell or something like that. In that case, you can import an existing project and make changes to it. So that's where this option comes into play. But for now, and in most cases, we're going to click on Create New Project to start a new project. We need to give it a project name. I'm going to call it Home Plumbing Maintenance Logbook. Now I'll click on Create Project. We are now inside the project and you have all these options on the left side. Many of these are OTOs. OTO 4 is here. OTO 5 is here. And some of the other upgrades are inside these sections where you have more options. So let's start with Start Here. Inside Start Here, we have the main content. The first question is, where will you sell it first? You have all these different platforms to choose from. In this case, I'm going to select Amazon KDP. Next, you have, what are you making? You have options like low content paperback, guided journal, activity book, workbook, planner, and so on. I'm going to go with low content paperback in this case. Next, who is this book for? I'm going to say homeowners who want to keep track of plumbing repairs. Next, what should the book help them do? I'm going to add a few things here like record leaks, repairs, parts used, service dates, and so on. Then we have anything to keep in mind. This is optional. I'm just going to say, keep the language simple and practical. That's about it. I can now click on Name Your Book. But before that, we have this button here called I Need a Ready-Made Example. In case you don't want to fill out all these things yourself, or you don't have a clear idea of what you're building, you can click on this button. And now you have all these options. Like I said, some of these options may not be available on the front end, but you have all these different examples you can choose from. Let's say in this case, we select Mindful Living. You can see who it's for and what the book helps with. Then you can click on Use this example. It will basically replace the information we entered here, and that becomes the product we'll be building. So if you don't know exactly what you want to build, you can use one of these ready-made examples instead of worrying about filling everything out yourself. And these examples will also change depending on what you select over here. So that's a useful option, especially if you're a beginner. But for now, because we already know what we're building, I'm going to click on Name Your Book to go to the next step. Right, now we have book ideas. Let's click on that. It's asking for a working title, which, like I said, is optional. I'm just going to enter the Home Plumbing Record. That's the working title. And you can see that the information here has already been brought over from the Start Here section. We entered these details earlier, so Paper Kingdom has already read that information and filled it in here. You don't need to enter everything again. From here, we can go to Get My Prompts. But before that, if I want to add more options, I can do that here. For example, maybe I don't want to build just one book or one product. Maybe I want to build multiple things at the same time. I can click here and two options come up. One is add another book, so you can add another book to the project. Or you can choose use a ready-made plan. You have several options here that you can choose from. Once again, many of these are part of OTO 1, I think. But if you have access to the OTOs, you'll have access to those additional options as well. Like I said though, this isn't necessary if you're entering everything yourself. You can simply go ahead and click on Get My Prompts. Now we're inside Get Prompts. Here you have all these different options that you can select. You have multiple categories. So if you want prompts for any of these specific things, you can select them and generate those prompts. But in most cases, you can simply use recommended prompts, which is the default. And you have all these options here. If you need something more advanced, you also have additional options. For example, things like voice principles, purchase occasion map, and other advanced prompts. But if you don't need those advanced things and you just want the basic prompts, you can stick with the recommended options here. Now let's focus on creating the prompts first. We'll start with improve the product name. Okay, so here we can add a personal note, which is optional. You don't need to add anything here if you don't want to. I'm just going to say keep the name simple and easy for a homeowner to understand. Okay? Just a simple instruction. What we can do now is click on copy prompt from here. You could actually see the full prompt down here if you want. But since we have a copy button here, we'll just copy it from here. We'll go to ChatGPT and I'm just going to paste it in there and then send the prompt. Once we have the output, I'm going to copy it from here and then come back into Paper Kingdom. I'll paste the output into this section here. Then I'm just going to click on review and use this title. So you can see here that the title has now been added. Now I'll go back to the top and click on the second option, which is create the cover artwork. I'll come here and say use a simple pipe and wrench. Keep the title area clear. Okay, this is just an instruction that we're giving for the cover art itself. Now I'm going to click on copy prompt, go to ChatGPT and paste it here. It will start creating the image. Once it's ready, we can just use it. Now, since this is an image, we don't have to enter anything back in here. Okay, so I'm just going to say that the cover art is created and downloaded. Then I'll click on review and use in later steps. Okay, then I'll go to number 3, which is plan the pages and back cover. For this, I'll give this instruction. Make one simple repair record page with space for the date, problem, work done, parts, cost, and plumber's name. Now, this instruction is based on our understanding of the product that we're creating. I'm going to click on copy prompt. And if I go back to ChatGPT, you can see that the cover image has been created now. It's been created in such a way that we have enough space for the title to go in this section. I'm now going to paste the prompt that we copied. Once I have the output for that, I'm going to copy it from ChatGPT, go back to Paper Kingdom and paste it here. Okay? Then I'll click on review and add to make the book. So now you can see that all the details have been added. We obviously need to go back here because we have the 4th prompt, which is draft how to explain the product. Basically, this is for things like the product description and related content. Okay, so once we select this one, for the personal request, I'm going to say, explain it in plain language. Do not make big promises. I'm going to copy the prompt, come back here to ChatGPT and paste it. Once we have the output, we'll copy it from there. Come back here and paste the useful answer into this section. Then I'm just going to click on review and use it in later steps. Okay, so we've added all of those things. And if, for example, you don't need to use one of these steps in your project, you could always click on not needed for this project. That option is available for all of these prompts. So now we have all 4 prompts that we require. Once this is done, I'm going to click on make the book. Now, this is OTO 4. If you don't have OTO 4 and OTO 5, once you've completed the previous step, you'll go directly to download and backup. But because we have these upgrades, we'll continue from here. Now, this section has 3 steps: cover, inside pages, and create files. Let's start with the cover. For the cover style, I can click here and open these options. You have all these different styles to choose from. You can also see the color tone that we'll be selecting here. We also have an option to select custom colors. You can click on that and change these colors to your own preference, so that option is available as well. And because we entered the prompts earlier in Get Prompts and then entered the results that we got from ChatGPT back into Paper Kingdom, it has already populated the information required here. We can then add another instruction. I'm just going to enter, use a simple pipe and wrench on the cover. Now, I hadn't selected one of these styles yet, So I had to select one to make sure this button becomes active. I've selected elegant and refined. Then I'm going to click on inside pages and we move here. One important thing to understand is that the names listed here are page designs, not the final number of pages. Paper Kingdom uses the plan to build out the files later during prompt creation. So in this case, we have the orientation page, inventory page, reference log, and observation record. The page order comes from here, and optionally we can change the order of things and add more pages. For example, if I want to add daily entries, evidence tracker, or closing review, I can add those things here. You also have two other optional choices. You can choose an additional page from this section. You have all these different page types available, so you can select one and add it. And if you want a repeating or special page, you could add that from here as well. Okay, now let's click on Create Files. Here we have the print options. For the size, I'm going to go with 7 by 10 inches. For the paper, I'm going to select white paper. Then we have, do images reach the edge of the page? I'll go with no in this case. Then we have print notes, which is optional. I'm just going to enter. Use clear headings and plenty of room to write. Okay, now I'm going to come down to the inside PDF section. We have all of these details here. And if you look at this, you can see the order of the pages. I can now click on Copy Prompt. For this particular prompt, because we're actually creating the pages themselves, I would prefer to use something like Codex. So this is Codex. In Codex, I'm just going to paste the prompt that I copied and I'm going to run it. The reason I would use Codex for this is because this can be a long-running process where we're actually creating the product itself. It uses PDF skills. Some amount of designing may be required, and on top of that, it can create a lot of pages. If you come back here, for example, you can see that the daily entry section itself has 49 pages. And I also added this additional section, which makes this a really long product. Some of these are static pages that will repeat as they are. So overall, this can become a fairly long-running process. For something like this, I prefer using Codex so it can work through the complete product creation. It's going to take some time, so I'll let it finish. In the meantime, I'll continue with the next steps and I'll show you the output later on. Right now, I'm just going to click on Inside PDF Created because I'm going to assume that the output we were looking for is exactly what we got. And now we have the cover preview. The finished page count determines the spine width. We also have Get Cover Template. Get Cover Template opens Amazon's official KDP cover calculator. If I click on it, it will open this up. We now need to fill in these details and download the template. I'm going to select paperback. For the interior type, I'm going to select black and white. The paper type will be white paper. The reading direction will be left to right. The measurement units will be inches. The interior trim size will be 7 by 10 inches. And we have 120 pages in this book, so I'm going to enter 120. Now click on Calculate Dimensions, and you have the dimensions here. You can then download this template and keep it with you. This template can be used for your actual cover creation. Now this is another process where we can use the ChatGPT app or Codex. You can copy the prompt, just like we did earlier, create a new chat, paste it in there, and let it create the files. And if you prefer to create the cover manually using Canva, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to click on Cover Preview Created. Okay. And then click on Prepare to Sell. Okay, so this is the file that we get from Codex. And you can see the PDF file here. You can see that we have all these check marks and all the details. Overall, it's a well done product. If we had selected a different design earlier, we would have gotten a slightly different design as well. And even now, if we want to change the design, we can simply tell ChatGPT or the Codex app to improve the design. Once we have the actual file, it becomes much easier to make those design changes. Anyway, we're back inside Paper Kingdom now. We're in Prepare to Sell, and at this point, we've already done most of the hard work. From here, we can create the Amazon listing and the promotional materials in one AI round trip. we don't need to fill out a long blank worksheet first. The selling kit prompt asks for the exact KDP book title, a product description, an ideal buyer description, 7 KDP keyword phrases, a short pitch, 3 different social posts, 1 launch email, and 3 practical promotional image ideas. So we can simply click on Copy Selling Kit Prompt and paste it into ChatGPT. Create a new chat and paste it here. Now, I'll run the prompt. And don't be surprised if the output looks a little strange. It's supposed to be a JSON format, so you'll see brackets and other formatting that might look a little awkward. But that's exactly what the app expects the output to be. So whatever we get here, we can simply copy it. I'll scroll down, copy the complete output, go back to Paper Kingdom, and paste it here. Then I'm going to click on Fill My Selling Kit. Now let's scroll down. You can see that all of these sections have been filled in. We have the product description. We have the ideal buyer. We have 7 KDP keyword phrases. We have the short pitch. We have 3 social posts. We have the launch email, including the subject and the body. And then we have 3 promotional image ideas. If we want to create any of those promotional images, we can simply copy the prompt from here and use it to create the image. And if you want everything together, you can also download the complete selling kit. Then we can click on Publishing Checklist. You don't really need to do anything complicated here. This is mostly a checklist based on the work we've already completed. For example, the inside and cover files are created, and the selling kit is created. And just for the sake of completing the project, if your KDP account is ready, you can click on KDP account ready. Again, this is really just a checklist to help you keep track of where you are. Once everything is set up, we can click on download or backup. And once we're inside download and backup, you have all of the files that you need. If you haven't been downloading each item as you worked through the previous steps, you can download everything from here as well. You can also see the project backup for re-importing. This is the file that you can use if you want to bring the project back into Paper Kingdom later. It's a JSON file. If you remember, when we started creating the project, we had an option to import project. This is where that option comes into play. The project backup that we download here is the JSON file that we can use with that import project option. So for example, if we want to import this project later and make changes to it, we can download the project backup, then import that file back into Paper Kingdom. And all the other files that we've created are available to download from here as well.